Hello and welcome to Going Off Subject, a Jones College radio and TV production in association with Free State Records. I am your host, Ollie Hammonds. In studio today with me, casting my bronze voice over your speakers, is producer Matt McGuffey. The first guest that we have on the first episode is Coach Steve Buckley. Coach Buckley, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Today.
I'm excited about being here.
All right.
Inaugural show for Ollie. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. So first of all, let's get in depth. I mean, where'd you grow up? What was your childhood like?
Well, I was born in North Carolina. My daddy was a Baptist preacher. Moved to Pontotoc when I was 9 months old up in North Mississippi. Grew up 17 miles from Oxford. Was at every Ole Miss game, Archie Manning's whole career. That's probably where I fell in love with football the most. Moved to Natchez when I was 10 years old, so I do call Natchez home. Graduated from South Natchez High School.
Yeah.
It's now consolidated between, back when I was at school, it was the North Natchez and the South Natchez. Now it's Natchez High. They consolidated the two schools probably about 10 years after I graduated.
Okay.
We won the state championship my senior year, and they won 3 in a row. The next 2 years, South won the state championship, played for Ed Reed, who passed away a few years ago, longtime coach. We ran the Notre Dame box back in the day, I guess you could say. But Natchez is where I grew up. Went to Mississippi College, signed with them out of high school, stayed there for a year and a half, and transferred to Southern Miss. Knew I wanted to coach, and got involved in coaching at that time.
Okay. Well, did you play any other sports when you were
in
younger?
high school? Yeah, I played baseball, ran track, football, but I just love football. I guess my love for football developed because of Coach Reed. I knew I loved it growing up next to Oxford and going to watch Archie play all those years. My daddy was a huge Archie Manning fan.
It's easy to be.
Yeah, he was a two-sport star. He played baseball, and we had season tickets to baseball games.
Yeah,
just to watch him. So we went up there probably once a week through my whole childhood, and then we moved to Natchez, and I was fortunate to play for Coach Reed. Tough, hard-nosed guy, old school. I still model a lot of things I do after him, and but that's kind of how it all got started.
Yeah. So, you say you knew you wanted to coach when you got to USM, but every coach has that moment when they realize they probably don't need to play and they need to go coach.
Absolutely. The game that we love is going to end one day unless you're crazy like us and become a coach. It's like my son. I try to talk him out of it, and he can't get away from it either. But no, I started coaching at Petal High School in 1985, I guess, as a student coach. Got hired the next year, was the head 9th grade coach, then got elevated to the varsity. Was there for a year. Then Curly Hallman got the job at Southern Miss. He came from Texas A&M. He was a secondary coach at Texas A&M. And I walked in his office one day without knowing who he was. I knew when he got the job and told him who I was, and I wanted to be a graduate assistant. And he said, well, I don't have any positions available. And I said, well, I know you do because you're a new coach and it's your first job. I want to be on your staff. And I basically talked my way in the door and was a GA for a year and a half. And then I got my master's at that time, and then he hired me full-time in 1990.
Okay.
Then in 91, he got the LSU job, and I went to LSU with him. He took 4 of us that year. I coached running backs at LSU for 4 years. Then Coach Hallman gets fired at the end of the 94 season. Like we all do, we had to find a job.
Yeah.
So I went to George County High School. I am good friends with Coach Jeff Bauer, and he was at Southern Miss at the time, and he told me to get close, and he was going to bring me back. So I went to George County for 2 seasons. Then Coach Bauer hired me back at Southern Miss, and I was there with him for a while, and ended up at Petal High School after he was finished there at Southern Miss, and coached there 5 years. Spent a year at Ollie Branch actually, and then Jones called, and that's, I guess, the rest is history. Been here. This is our 8th season, believe it or not.
Yeah. So what brought you to Jones? Was it just the job opportunity? Was it the community? What?
Ollie, I did not want to coach junior college football. I hated recruiting junior college kids. My last 2 years at Southern Miss, I had recruited every school in Kansas. I had recruited every school in Arizona, Texas, and Mississippi junior colleges. Yeah. And I got tired of dealing with knuckleheads. They were there for a reason.
Yeah.
And back then, you had the academic restrictions were higher to get in to a 4-year school. So, you're always fighting to get kids graduate by December. By December, then the latest May. I never had a desire to coach at the junior college level.
Yeah.
And then Katie Harrington, I was fixing to say Katie Eaton. That's her maiden name. I've known Katie a long time. Katie called me when I was at Ollie Branch and said they were looking for a coach here. Would I be interested? I said, sure, I'll talk. But I really don't have a desire to coach junior college football.
Yeah.
Long story short, I came and met with Dr. Smith, the committee. They told me what they were interested in. I told them what I was interested in, and it kind of met. I wanted to run it like a Division I program. Mm-hmm. I thought some things needed to change here from an academic standpoint. Dr. Smith allowed me to hire an academic coordinator full-time. Carla Collins, she does a tremendous job getting our kids graduated or aiding them and advising them on graduation. And, we've just had a lot of success getting kids to the next level since we've been here. So I love this environment. Don't want to go anywhere else. I love the way we can help kids find their next home. Mm-hmm. A kid goes to junior college for one of three reasons. He's a non-qualifier, he's a transfer student, or he didn't have the offer he wanted.
Yeah.
And all of our kids fit those. We've got 5 transfers on the roster this year. We've got a bunch of kids who didn't have offers or didn't have the offer they wanted. And we've got several kids that couldn't cut it academically, and they're here to get that fixed too.
Yeah. So you talk about it's difficult recruiting junior college kids when you are a 4-year D1 coach. How difficult is it recruiting kids to come to a junior college?
Well,
do you meet kids that it's like their last?
That's a great question, and this is what I think people don't understand. Most of your population at the community college in Mississippi mm-hmm. chose to go there. Mm-hmm. They kind of grew up, maybe like yourself. I'm going to go to Jones for 2 years, and I'm going to move on and get my 4-year degree.
Yeah.
Most of our students are like that. But our athletes are not like that. Mm-hmm. They dreamed of playing at Ole Miss, State, Southern Miss, Alabama, LSU, wherever. And they have no choice but to come here if they don't have the offer they want or they're not a qualifier out of high school. So, and I tell kids this all the time. I didn't grow up dreaming of being the head coach for the Bobcats. Very, very fortunate and glad I am. These kids didn't grow up dreaming of being a Bobcat. Yeah. They grew up wanting to be a 4-year player right off the bat. Yeah. So it's difficult to recruit them sometimes to get them to understand, especially out of state.
Yeah.
In state, the kids have a understanding of junior college. They've grown up through our state and understand the quality of football.
Yeah, it's high quality.
Yeah, the out-of-state kids just don't understand it till they get here.
Yeah.
When they get here, they think, 2 buildings and a football field. When they get here, they say, wow, it's a real college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I got 2 questions kind of asking this that probably would have the same answer. But how difficult is it getting kids that this is their last stop? Yeah. It could possibly be their last stop. And they want to go farther. They want to go play for LSU, right. for Alabama. How difficult is it to get them to say, hey, this is your situation now. You're a Bobcat now. Let's win now, and let's not mope about what's going on.
It's hard. It really is. Once they get in here and get in our system, they love it. But remember this, they're here for a reason, okay? My kids come from different backgrounds. Mm-hmm. Some have money, some have little money, some have no money. And, and one of the things we do as coaches, we go in their homes. I meet parents. We work our tails off in recruiting. I think recruiting is relational. I think when you build a relationship with a kid and their family, you got a great shot at getting them. Honesty is something that we pride ourselves on. I'm not going to lie to kids. I tell them their strengths. I tell them their weaknesses. But no, transfer students, right now I've got a kid from Auburn, Duke, Ball State, Nebraska, and Michigan State. Those are our 5 transfers right now. We're not last chance U. I don't like that. We're first class U, but they are on their last chance. This is it for them.
Yeah.
They can either make it or break it right now mm-hmm. because, they're going to need, number one, the academic help to get out of here. And when I say help, I mean academic verbiage to the people that are recruiting them that they will go to class. There's red flags. I mean, you left a 4-year school and you're at a junior college and the portal's free transfer. So there obviously are red flags for the Division I coaches. So, when a recruiter comes in here, they're going to talk to Carla, our academic lady. They're going to talk to our strength coach, Coach Queck, and they're going to talk to me and the position coach. They do their homework. Yes, it's hard to get them to buy in that this is it. Like I said, there's a reason they're here.
Yeah.
And, I don't really want to get into the reasons that it didn't work out at the other place. And I don't research that. I find out what they did wrong, why it didn't work out there, and boom, they're here. And if every box checks for us taking them.
Yeah. So you as a coach, you can kind of hold the key to their career, and how you utilize them and stuff like that. So how do you balance making Jones the priority, let's win state championships, but also making the kids a priority? You want to get those kids back to Auburn, Ball State, Michigan State.
They love football.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Once you get between the white lines, my kids don't miss practice. They don't miss lift weight workouts. They don't miss off-season condition. But let's face it, they don't like academics. And if they're going to miss something, they're going to miss class before they miss a workout.
Yeah.
And, we have a set of standards here that we uphold. And it's frustrating. It really is. And, the older I get, the longer I'm here, I just see it as more frustrating because of COVID, I think. You grew up in the COVID. What grade were you in COVID hit in 20?
I think it was 10th grade.
Yeah, everybody went home and cheated is what happened. Y'all did your homework together. You got online.
I never even thought about that being a difficulty.
Well, these kids were younger. They weren't seniors that year. Well, they went home and cheated. They worked together with each other.
Yeah.
They gave them grades and got them out of there. And I think that had a lasting impact that we don't understand as administrators, as coaches, as teachers. And to get them to shift gears and understand COVID's over, there's no
time to
free
get back
gifts
to work
anymore. We go to class. We go to tutor, we go to study hall, we do homework, we don't wait to the last minute. You can't say, okay, I'm going to do my essay that's due on Sunday night at midnight. I can't wait till Sunday night at 11 o'clock to do it. And we see that a lot. And it is the most frustrating part of my job.
Yeah, but I will say, Coach, discipline in sports equals wins. And you seem to have a great disciplined group by the time we get mid-season.
And I think, you look at the field of play, and last week we had 6 penalties. I thought 2 of them were warranted, 4 of them were not warranted. Yeah. But you're going to always say 6 is not a bad start. It
was also not great officiating, I'll be honest.
Yeah, our officials do a good job in this league. They work hard, but I just felt like there were a few calls that were either or. But they made the call. But I think you look at a team's discipline. Yeah. By the number of penalties and the number of turnovers. We had 3 turnovers last week. All 3 balls were tipped at the line of scrimmage. Well, one of them was DJ probably made a poor read. Should have hit the cross or hit the underneath route. But, those things happen. But, I like to think we're a disciplined football team on the field. I don't think we're disciplined as far as breakfast, being on time to class, turning everything in when you're supposed to turn it in. And again, without apology, that's frustrating to me. And we want to build leaders. We want to build people for the future for our state and for the United States. But it has to start somewhere, and it has to start with the discipline of getting up every morning, going to breakfast, going to class, being on time, those little things that just make a difference.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I got one more question for you. How has Jones impacted your career in life in a positive way?
Ollie, I love what I do. I'm addicted to football. I really do. I don't play golf anymore. I don't fish. I don't hunt. I love the X's and O's part of football, but I also love being a head coach and managing. I don't know if I'm any good at it, but I do love it. I love the fact that we can take kids that are lost, that have nowhere to go, and I get great gratification as a head coach watching these kids sign. I have 3 TVs outside at my house, and every Saturday I write down all the kids that are playing, where they're playing. I've got all 3 games on at one time. I love watching them be successfI love it when they call. I talked to Little Webb yesterday. He called me yesterday. He hurt his shoulder and wanted to let me know. I love it when kids call and let me know how they're doing. We stay in contact. I had a kid call yesterday that I actually had to let go yesterday, and he's playing at a small school in Georgia. And he called me yesterday just to thank me for the opportunity I gave him last year. It didn't work out for him here, but it made me feel good. So I guess the word is rewarding to see kids that really had nothing have a chance to improve their life. And I tell these kids, use football to get an education. I ask them all the time, how many of you want to play in the NFL? Every hand goes up, all 65 of them. And then I tell them, you will probably not play in the NFL, okay? 2%. and the longevity of the NFL is not very long. Let's take this one step at a time. Let's become a good junior college football player, a good student athlete.
Yeah, because
go ahead.
Yeah, that football could mean 4 years.
Absolutely.
College, 4 years of education.
You know, and if they can't play, they can't play. The eye in the sky don't lie. That's our saying. The film, what you put on film is who you are as a player.
Yeah.
Because they're going to look at your film. If they like it, they're going to come see you live. If they don't like your film, they're not coming to see you live.
Yeah.
So I can talk all I want to. I know a lot of people across the country. I can call, but unless they put it on tape, you know, it doesn't matter. So, you know, how has it changed me? This may sound cliche. I see coaching as a ministry for me.
No, it is.
My daddy was a minister. My brother's a minister. My brother has a mission in Haiti and one in the Mississippi Delta. And I think all my coaches are on the same page with this. We see this as a ministry to help kids, number one, improve their life, improve their academic situation, and have a chance to get a 4-year education that most of their parents and siblings do not have.
Oh, yeah. Well, Coach, thank you for coming on. Quick question. Give me a quick take. What did you think about Itawamba last week and East Mississippi tomorrow?
Yeah, you know, I thought Itawamba was a good football team. I don't think we were smooth offensively. I thought we played really good defensively. Kicking game was great. Bart had a good game. Charlie, the snapper, had a good game. We were sound in the kicking game. Lights out on defense. Kind of choppy on offense, but it was the first game. We played against a good opponent.
Yeah.
Itawamba was going to win games this year. They had talent. We started 4 guys last year. We started 4 guys last Thursday night that had started a game before. That was our center on offense. He was the only one. 3 guys, the nose guard, a linebacker, and a corner on defense. So to go on the road and get a win, great. I don't care if it's 27-26.
Yeah.
This week, we know what we're going against. East Mississippi's talented, very talented. They lost their first game to Colin, 23-20, missed 2 field goals inside the 25-yard line. I've known Buddy a long time. Coach Stevens will have that bunch ready to play. It'll be a great challenge for us to go to Scuba tomorrow night on the road again to get this win.
Well, thank you, Coach. And you've been listening to Going Off Subject with Ollie Hammonds. Thank you so much. In studio, of course, with me is Jones's very own Matt McGuffey. Tune in next time to Going Off Subject.